My worst date was the night I met my husband. And it was actually with my husband.
Oh my.
Yes, we met. It was pouring rain. It was actually a rained out Cubs game. If you know anything about Chicago Cubs games, people hope that they get rained out because you'll actually have more fun at a bar down the street. And so we ended up in a bar down the street. It was pouring rain. We got into a cab. He escorted me to my car and asked if he could have my phone number, and I said no. So that could have been the biggest
end.
mistake.
So how did he find you?
A week later, I had a callback in the city. In between an audition and a callback, I went to get a coffee, and he was standing behind me in line.
Noah Wea.
It was meant to be, Douglas.
Wow. But you had already made up your mind. So when you saw him again, what was the reversal? What made you change your mind? I'm curious.
Well, let's just be really honest. My husband is considerably younger than me, and so the reason I didn't give him my phone number was because I thought there'd be no way he was interested. And
I thought you were going to tell me he didn't know how to
old I
read
actually
yet. Like he was so young he couldn't read. I was like, how much younger? No, I've met him. They're the same age.
Did you have any horrible dates?
This is the
Hopefully none of them are with me.
the thing is, I don't think I've never had a horrible date with you. I'm one of those lame girls that was like a boyfriend. I never went on dates because I was too, I don't know, I was either picky or too nervous. I literally have had 3 boyfriends in my life, and one of them is now my husband. So I'm pretty lame.
You're lame. I was cool because I always had a girlfriend. So I never really went on dates myself.
You had a girlfriend when you were like 7
I
years
had
old.
a girlfriend when I was 10, and I pretty much always had a girlfriend. Not that many though. Sort of the same boat as my wife.
But I won.
Have you ever had a really bad date? Our dates now sort of consist of sort of juggling our 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old son. And depending on what kind of mood he's in, it sort of dictates the feeling of the date.
Well,
Isn't
now, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Even if we plan a date together and it doesn't turn out right, or things are just going wrong, I don't know. We both are pretty positive, happy people that we make it something. We'll always have a good time when we're together.
I can one moment comes to mind, and she may feel very opposite than I do about it, but I don't plan so many things as far as dates go. We're both very sort of, just sort of fly by the seat of our pants. We do what we want to do. And I decided that I wanted to propose to this one, so I created this whole elaborate day, and I checked off everything, beforehand, visited every site that I wanted to take her to, except for the moment of giving her the ring, which was at Bethesda Fountain in New York City in Central Park.
In the middle of the winter.
In the middle of the winter. So I wasn't picturing no lights and no water.
It was like 20 degrees.
Yeah, and the one man standing there in a trench coat, not doing anything in the dark. So when it finally came to the moment of needing to propose to her, we got off the horse and buggy, and she says, "This is creepy," and I lose all color, and I said, "No, it's one of my favorite places. It's great. No, come on, let's come down the steps." And then we get down there, and there's this weird man standing there, and no water, and dark. So I walk over to a street lamp. I finally proposed to her, but from that moment on, I couldn't have been more upset with myself.
He didn't let it go for like 3 days.
I was flushed. I was so angry. I actually was really angry.
And I was happy because I got that.
Yeah.
And you.
So
forever.
in my mind, it was the worst date, except for the fact that you said yes.
Of course he's gonna say yes. That's not even a crappy date.
No.
You gotta let it go, babe.
But it's the only time it's the only time I ever felt like those feelings of like, gosh, I failed on a date.
My worst date. The worst date I ever had was, it was not like a night date. It was a day date. I was invited out to Pound Ridge. I come from a very lower middle class family in New York. I was born on the Lower East Side. And I met this girl who was quite rich, and she lived in Pound Ridge. And she invited me out to meet her parents. And we had a very nice lunch, and then afterwards her parents asked her to step out of the room, and they told me if I ever saw their daughter again, they would have me arrested. That probably is the worst date I ever had.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
So let's see, probably the worst date I ever had was when I was meeting one day for lunch with my ex-wife, and my current wife walked in to the restaurant. That was pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Pretty bad. I remember actually, I was on my honeymoon with my wife when we were in Mendocino, California, and the first girl I ever slept with was living up there, and she happened to be at the same restaurant we were at for breakfast, and came over to introduce herself, and I just jumped up and went, "Hi, Linda, this is my wife, Karen."
Good. Real nice.